Okay everyone, welcome back to the channel for another video on Gran Turismo 7, and we are back with the verdict of this week's daily races. So we're going to start off with daily race A at Suzuka. It's the short version of Suzuka and we're driving the Clio Trophy. Now this is probably this week's weakest race in terms of everything. It does have a standing start, that's probably the only benefit of this race. But yeah, it's in the Clio, quite a slow car, and this track, to be honest, just tends to lead to a little bit of chaos. So if you are looking for some chaotic fun, maybe this might be your combination if you just want to see cars going flying off the track and getting pushed off in corners, because these corners do tend to encourage it with the way the corners go through the S corners. You have cars that will shoot up the inside and then just run you wide. So yeah, in my opinion, this race, not the best race of this week. However, we're in here now, starting from the back, obviously, trying to find the way through the cars in front. We've got a car that's just gone off in there in P3 that's led us up, and we've got P3 that's just been hit in the rear, and we're going to try and hold the inside through this long right hand corner, which is going to work. We're up into P4. We're having a little look up the inside into this corner. We're going to have to back out there because we would have hit him, so we don't really want to do that. Then into the braking zone for this corner, and we get pushed wide by the car on the inside there. Costas pushing us wide there, naughty boy Costas. And now we're going to work our way on the straight and see if we can pick up that slipstream. I don't think he actually defends this because I think he might have realised it was a bit of a shove through. So I think he just lets us go on the inside here. So fair play to Costas. You can see he wiggles a little bit there. And we're going to go up the right-hand side and go for a move in the braking zone. Braking just past 100 board. We can get the car rotating slightly with the braking and then just hold an inside line here and try and get good acceleration from this corner. But up into P4, not too bad so far. And we've got the leader that's probably just going to pull away there. I think he's quite used to this combination and he's going to probably pull away quite easily from this group. But you can see this is the corners that I'm talking about, where they just lead to cars that will quite happily send it up the inside. You just run a little bit wide, a car will push up the inside and just push you off the track very often on this combination. But yeah, I've come across many better daily races. What's your opinion in the chat? Do you think this is a good daily race, or are you not going to really bother with it? For me, I probably won't be revisiting this race again this week. It just doesn't do it for me. It's in a slow front wheel drive car. It's at probably one of the most boring tracks I think in the game. It's not really, there's not really any heavy like hairpin braking zone. You've got like the last corner, but it's a really awkward corner the way it goes into it. So yeah, I'm not into this one, as you can tell. We're gonna have a look behind us here. We've got a free wide situation, and you're gonna see what I'm talking about straight away as a car gets run off wide there, clean round the outside, and that's what I'm talking about with the opportunity for cars just to run people wide. It just opens itself up on this track. But we're on P4, we're skipping to lap 4 now, and we've got a bit of chaos going on here. We've got a car to my right, another yellow car that's going to make this free wide, and we've got a car right behind me that we're just going to back out and brake early and then just try and hold it on the outside. We get a little clip off the yellow car, but we just about managed to hold it on the track. Just an inch of that right hand tyre just kept it on. But yeah, if you do enjoy these videos where we go through the current daily races and give my verdict on them, do hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. This happens every single week, along with track guides and other stuff on the channel, lots of live streams. So yeah, get subscribed, hit the like button, all helps my channel grow. We do this full time as a job, so I'm really grateful to everyone that does that. But you can see in this race here now, we're down to P6, lost a few positions there with the turn 1 antics that went on. And this final corner, I find it really tricky in this Clio. You've really got to try and get it up to the right hand side here and almost skim the grass to help rotate the cars. We see the black Clio driven by Costas behind us there, just runs a little bit wide, and we're going to fast forward into turn 1 now. So got a bit of a gap to P7, and then as we're coming through here, we can see the yellow Clio goes for a bit of a Ocon line there on the grass. If you've watched us on GT Sport when we raced Ocon, you'll know what we're talking about. But the red Clio is going to try and go around the outside. He backs out of that. I think he thinks better of that. Road Vente there backs out of that move. However, the yellow Clio straight off the track, backs out, doesn't rejoin straight away. So fair play to that yellow Clio for not rejoining in a erratic way. He actually thought about what he was doing and didn't wipe anyone out. Some people would have done differently. But yeah, we're in P5 here on the final lap, and then we're coming through to the final few corners here. You can see into this section here, we have Rodavente going wide there. He opens the door up for me. We take that move, and then we go around the outside here. However, the black Clio that just went wide rams Rodavente into me. That pushes me off, and now we're pretty much out of control, and we're just trying to join the track there. We didn't really have much we could do, and then the yellow clear pushes us wide here, and then we get pushed wide again on the exit. So yeah, this is what you're going to have to bear with this combination. It just doesn't do it for me. I won't be going back to this combination. And yeah, I'm sure some people will enjoy it though. There is fun to be had. So a 5 out of 10, probably our lowest score that we've ever given a daily race. 5 out of 10, not very good in my opinion. Pretty average. Daily race B, it's at Dragon Trail Gardens, the track that I absolutely hate normally. However, for some reason, I quite enjoy it this time round, and I quite enjoy it on Gran Turismo 7 over GT Sport. So straight away, Citroen. I'm in the Citroen. This Citroen is extremely good. You need to give the Citroen a go round there. I keep telling everyone, the Citroen, in my personal opinion, is the best car for this race. We actually managed to get ourselves up to P6 straight away, because I have a feeling that tempo was on the controller and got that delayed start that you sometimes get with the controller. There is a way of sorting that out. I can't remember how to do it. Maybe someone in the comments will let people know who's on a controller, how you fix that. There is, I think if you press pause when it starts, I think possibly it gets rid of that delay, and then you unpause it straight away. That might be how you do it. But you can see straight away here into the braking zone, we're going to have a little look through this left-hand corner. It wasn't actually Tempo that we were talking, it was Tempo's in front of us now, and it's Stokesy that's behind us there in the McLaren. So we're now attacking Tempo in the Jaguar, and we're going to see if we can catch him up. But yeah, give this Citroen a go, chat. And I have to say, this race could have been a lot more fun. How I would have improved this race, if you're interested, some of you might not care, but I would have given this 6 laps, and then I would have put dynamic weather like we had on at Spa in Daily Race B a few weeks back, when it was just static, but it could change. So normally 4 out of 5 races would be dry, but then every now and then you get a wet race in different conditions, either heavy rain, intermediate rain, or a part of the track would be wet and a part would be dry. That's what I think would have made this race better. So if every now and then you'd have had that dynamic condition, but even though it's dynamic, it's static, if you know what I'm saying, so it doesn't change, it just stays the way it was. I think that was quite a good idea for the Daily Race B we had at Spa, and I think it would have meant this race would have been one of the best Daily Race Bs ever. 2 extra laps, and that in the race, this race would have been perfect in my opinion. There's a bit of chaos there, car goes off, Costa's on the outside of the Supra. I don't think that was his fault, I think the other car just lost control, and we've got the Mazda in front of us with half a second penalty. So gaining a few positions here for free. Always like free positions, everyone likes them, but yeah, this race, it's frustrating. 4 laps for me, just too short. It's just too short, because as you can see here, it actually gives pretty decent racing in Group 4, and unfortunately I think because of Daily Race C being quite a good Daily Race C, and this race not having the extra laps, I think it's going to make this race a bit weak in terms of the competition in it. So that's probably going to stop it getting a really good score, because like I say, if this race would have had them conditions and a few extra laps, it would have been one of the best Daily Bs I think we've had, to be honest. And that's me saying it, who doesn't really like Dragon Trail Gardens, but for some reason is enjoying it this week, as we're going to go for a move on that Supra. Up the inside, you can see the curbs, very tricky to get the curb entry right on that chicane. You've really got to get the middle of the car dead over the sausage, right over the middle, and it should work pretty well. So up to P2, we got Fento in P1. We're not going to catch him, he's 5 seconds clear of us, so it's just a case of seeing if we can put in a good lap at the end here. But you can see there, we've still got the Supra right behind us pushing on and trying to see if he can get back up to us in the slipstream if it's possible. And we're going into these are the corners that you have to really get sorted at Dragon Trail Gardens, these continuous right hand corners. Once you get the line sorted through and you get the power input right for getting on the throttle, it is a little bit better, but they are quite frustrating corners in my opinion. But you can see here, we managed to pull away by half a second there from P3, and we pretty much stayed static to I think Fento in P1. However, he had a penalty there. I think we're actually on a really good lap here. You can see Fento's done a 38.9, and we're about to do, I think, a 38.9 in the Citroen, just a fraction behind his lap. So yeah, the Citroen SLS looks good obviously, but the Citroen definitely looks very strong around here, as we do a 38.9 there on the final lap. So yeah, overall though, I think I'm going to have to give this race a 7 out of 10. It could have been an 8 if it would have been 6 laps. If it would have had dynamic weather and 6 laps, it would have been an 8.5 easily. However, we're now on to the final race and the best race of this week and the saviour of this week. This race will save the whole week in my opinion, and make sure you watch this race right to the end. This is an absolute belter. What a race we had. at Deep Forest in Group 3. Soft tyres are compulsory. You have to make a pit stop, but you don't have to change tyres. You can if you want to. Tyre wear is ×5, and it actually leads to pretty good strategy choices of when you pit, what lap you pit, whether you change tyres. It's actually a reasonably fun combination. I think it's one of the best daily races that we've possibly had in a long time. And when PD create good daily races, it's almost like a miracle that the player base come and play these tracks and race them. So yeah, PD, you do better more often, more people play your game. Start learning from your mistakes from the past with some of the daily races that they've done. And yeah, you can instantly see that these races are a little bit better. More people are in them. We've got A+ drivers, and even in the daytime, we've just finished a stream, and daytime on a Tuesday morning, full A+ lobby all the way through, so it makes a difference if you make good combinations. You can see in this race, we're going from the back of the grid. I'm in the Supra for this race. I've migrated over to the Ford GT, but we were doing this race in the Supra, having a little look up the inside. We're going to go for a move, try and slow that car down. Now, we didn't really want to go for that move, so I actually lift off the throttle. If you keep an eye on the throttle inputs, I lift off there to let that car go back through because I wasn't trying to overtake him. But I'm going to go into the pits anyway, let that Porsche get ahead, and we're going to go for a pit stop. And we're not going to change our tyres. No fuel, no tyre change, but you have to do this. It's mandatory. You have to go in the pits and then back out at any point during the race, or you can change tyres if you choose to. But we're out just ahead of Consta there in the McLaren. McLaren probably not the strongest car for this race. And we've got Bradley also in the Nissan GT500, who is now right behind us. You can see there in P9 as we've skipped to lap 6. It was a fairly static race for 5 laps or so there, as we were all just pushing through and just trying to figure out how we drive. But yeah, this Supra definitely has potential. I might have to go back to the Supra and give it another go at some point, because I think it's pretty good over a lap round, this combination. As you can see, my first sector there with no slipstream with 23.9. I've not done that in the Ford GT at all. I think the gearing might be slightly better with the Supra with the traction zone, so maybe it works quite well. We're going to take that penalty. That puts us down to P9, but we stay ahead of the McLaren behind us, driven by Consta. So try and get a good exit out of this corner. You can see my brake bias with this car is all the way to the rear because I'm trying to save that right front tyre. So the reason why I've got +5 is to save the front tyre. The reason in the Ford GT why I have -3 is because we're saving the rear right tyre. So it's just differences in cars. You just have to obviously work with that car and figure out what it needs to be done. But that's the reasons we do it. So picking up the slipstream to Bradley there in front of us, and not able to go for a move on this lap, so we're just going to sit behind him and try and figure out how can we get past that GT500. It is pretty quick in a straight line, the Nissan in front of us. However, I think we can definitely go for a move in this Supra. Supra's one of the quickest cars on the game in a straight. But yeah, through this section here, this is where the Supra, I think, feels pretty good. Through the first sector, it seems quite nice with the rotation change and the stability through the corners. Lacks a little bit compared to the Ford GT at the top end of 6th gear, which is crazy because this car is rapid, but yeah, it loses a slight amount. So we're just trying to follow Bradley as close as possible at the moment and just trying to get into that slipstream to think about going for a move. So get that slipstream up this straight as we fast forward the straight and then into the braking zone. You can see the McLaren is right behind us, and you can see there Bradley goes for a tight line. We're going to try and get a good exit, and we've actually got quite close to him. Bradley gets a little bit loose on the rear there, and we're actually in a very good position here to pick up the slipstream. So shifting around, we rev out 3rd and 4th gear, and then 5th to 6th is a short shift just to get that momentum in 6th gear. And you can see we've got a really good slipstream now, and we're going to go for a move into turn 1. Now, I wasn't sure if to try this. We see the opportunity, we go to the right, we fake it back underneath, and we've got that move done up the inside. And unfortunately for Consta there, he had an issue where the view changed on him, and he ended up nearly going straight into the back of Bradley. And fair play to Consta, he sacrificed his own race and went straight into the barrier to make sure that he didn't hit him. So good stuff from Consta, but unfortunately I've had that issue as well with the view changing. I think his controller moved though on his. I think he actually knocked his controller. I've had it just randomly in a race where the view just switches and changes, but yeah, I think he actually knocked his controller on the floor and knocked the view. So we managed to get ourselves up into a podium position here, and now we're going onto the long straight. Will that GT500 be able to get close enough on this straight as we work our way up? Let's see. So all the way up this acceleration zone, and the GT500 just not close enough to go for a move. We're going to go half defensive there, try and get a good exit from this corner. Will he go back past us? He's got a really nice exit there. Will he be able to get on the power? Supra very, very strong on the power from that final corner. It's really good with the traction zone. So now we're going to watch that replay camera as we go over the line, will the GT500 be able to pass the Supra on this straight? You can see it's a drag race now. He's gone to the left, picked up the slipstream. We've held that left-hand side so he can't get us back with a fake. And now he's going to try and go all the way around the outside. Will he be able to make that work? We've braked extremely late, held the inside, and just about kept onto that podium position. But you can see we are under a lot of pressure, and this ends up being an absolutely amazing battle all the way to the finish. Make sure you watch this to the end. This was brilliant stuff, and this is why I love Gran Turismo. Races like this, and when you've got combinations with tyre wear at a decent setting. Now, one thing that I would say that could make this race better would have been one extra lap. I think one extra lap would have really made a big difference with whether you would have changed tyres or not. And I think it would have made it possibly a better option to change tyres, and it would have meant, I think it would have been 50-50. I think you would have seen a lot more people changing tyres, and it would have been a lot more fun. So yeah, unfortunately the 12 laps was a little bit short as we go defensive there into the final corner, but Bradley, beautiful move up the inside there, pulls off a cracker, and he's right up the inside, and now we're going to have to try and get the slipstream and get back past him. Now we know that Bradley's probably not going to fall for it again because we just faked him before, so he's probably going to hold that car as close to the wall as possible. So you can see here, he's not budging. I know he's not going to budge. So we go back to the right side. We're going to try and go round the outside this time. Brake as late as possible. Use first gear for rotation there. Back up to third gear straight away and manage somehow to go all the way round the outside. And that was another nice move there. And put ourselves back up into P2. So yeah, great racing going on here in this daily race seat. And I have to say, you can tell by the racing, this combination is a good combo. It's definitely one of the best I think we've had in a long time. Probably beaten by a few combinations, obviously, in the past, but overall, it's a very strong combination. And I wish PD could do more combos like this, but maybe put a little bit more thought into it. 13 laps would have made the race about 19 minutes long. And it would have meant, I think, possibly that the tyre change would have been a better strategy. It also would have brought in a few more cars, because maybe cars that are slightly better on tyre wear could have gone for that no tyre change, and they might be slower in the race, but gaining 4 seconds with that. Yeah, I think it would have been better to change the tyres overall, but you might have gone for that tyre strategy. So yeah, one extra lap, and this would have been the sweet spot. 13 laps would have been the perfect, and it would have probably took it to a pretty high score for this daily race. And that's coming from me, who's not a massive fan of this track. I don't mind it, as Bradley's going to try and go around the outside. Will he make that work this time? We hold the inside. He backs out of that and tries to get a better exit and do us on the outside there now, but we've got good exit speed with the Supra, and now we're able to hold the inside. So absolutely brilliant racing going on as we watch the replay camera. And what you can see now is we've got another group of cars that are starting to chase us down and hunt us down in this race. So we're in P2, P3 there. We got P4 right behind Bradley. So this is leading up to a pretty good end to the race. And I think possibly the cars that are right behind us have possibly got fresher tyres on, because they've probably changed their tyres. So it shows you that if you're fighting like me and Bradley are, we're losing time, obviously, with the battling. But we don't want to give up the position, because we're coming up to the end here now. So we're going to go very late on the brakes, try and get it rotated into this corner for the final lap. And this final lap is one of the best final laps I've had on this game. It was so enjoyable. I think anyone who was watching this when we did this in the live stream will agree. It was an absolute belter of a lap. So we've got P2. We've got Bradley with the slipstream. He's getting a nice slip from ourselves. He's going to go to right. And then we've got the Alpha on the right-hand side, making it 3 wide almost into turn 1. You can see Bradley going really late round the outside. Can we hold it round the outside? He gets a bit of understeer with the Nissan. That Nissan just doesn't rotate on the throttle, and the Alpha squeezes past Bradley there and puts himself up into P2, and I'm now in P3. However, we've got the inside line. That's going to give me the P2 back, and this is brilliant racing, side by side. Great stuff going on here. Again, side by side, and we've managed to keep that P2 position. But just look at this battle that we've got going for the podium, and this is right here is why I always love playing Gran Turismo 7. It's just moments like this that you get where it's all kicking off on the last lap. I feel like not many games get that right compared to Gran Turismo, especially when PD get the settings pretty good. They haven't got them perfect this week. They could have been better, but you know, they've done a pretty good job with this race, and it's made for some quite entertaining racing. And now we're going defensive on the line. We're holding against that wall because I don't want to give them the inside line. And now we're going to go into the braking zone. Will we be able to hold on? He's going to go very deep there, really deep. And we're going to just give him enough space. But you can see what he does. He goes all the way onto the green Astro there and gets a really good exit speed. But that, as everyone knows, is gaining an advantage through using the part of the track that's not allowed. And yeah, he's been given a penalty there. And I think it was rightly so, because I don't think he would have got that position without the penalty. But now we've got Bradley coming through. And it's a photo finish between 3 cars. Luckily, we get the P3. Shadow, obviously, with the penalty, goes down to P4. But Bradley takes P2. What an incredible race. And I think 8.5 out of 10 is a fair score. I think if it would have been 1 extra lap, I think it could have easily have hit a 9 out of 10 that race and propelled the week overall. So overall, though, because of Daily Race C, we're going to give this 7.75. And like I say, 1 extra lap and overall definitely would have been if Daily B would have been how we described it and Daily Race C with that extra lap, I think we would have been looking at an 8.5 overall for the week. Daily Race A knocks it down a slide, but Daily Race A isn't the most important race of the week for me. So it's, yeah, nearly an 8 out of 10 for this week. But yeah, Daily Race C is definitely, if you're only interested in Daily Race A, this is Daily Race C. This is a good week for you. So hopefully you enjoy it. Let me know what you think about my decisions in the chat there. You rate them as well. And let me know in the comments what you think. See you all soon for more videos. Thanks again for watching, everyone.